Hello, and welcome to Straight Outta Composition. I'm Gabriella Coleman from Miss Coleman's Corner. I'm a pre-service teacher and fourth-year English student. I'll be your host for today. Today, we're going to be talking about the job market for composition scholars. Specifically, we're crunching the numbers and looking at the ratio of jobs to job candidates. We're going to be looking over Adam Phillips' paper, Charting the Currents, a deep dive into the writing studies job market for early career scholar teachers. A link to this article will be provided in our transcript, as well as the description under this post. Our guest today is the Excel wizard herself. She is the only fourth-year business student who can study economics while accompanying herself on the clarinet. Meet our guest, Taylor Stamper.
Hi, I'm Taylor, and I'm happy to be here. Tell me about this article.
The guy who wrote this article, Adam Phillips, published it this year in the spring, which makes the content incredibly relevant for writing students that are pursuing a career in academia. This man, what he did was very smart. He collected data like a champ, really. He used MLA's job information list, which, if you don't know, they provide a report each year about the quantity of jobs available. He also used job postings on RetMap, which is a website that maps job postings by location. And then he just sorts this data according to other factors, including the size of the university and whether the job postings were tenure track versus non-tenure track positions. These are all like factors you would think about when pursuing a job or a professorship. And then he took into account how many new professionals, like doctoral graduates, are entering the field each year. So, Taylor, before we get into the results of this study, why don't you tell me about the economic factors that contribute to the number of jobs available, not just in academia, but just in general?
So in the United States, we utilize a market economy, which, surprise, is comprised of different markets. One of these markets is the labor market. Market economies are cyclical, which means that they experience booms and recessions. When a market is on the downturn toward the recession, we call this a contraction. When the U.S. economy is contracting and a recession is a concern for organizations like the university, they may freeze or cut positions to save money, which lowers their demand for new teachers. Some other things that influence job availability are technological advancements. How innovations in AI will affect the future of teaching is frequently discussed, and with reason, because it has the ability to impact job availability. One more thing, our workforce is aging over all industries. Over the past 2 decades, the share of employed workers aged over 60 has doubled. People are leaving jobs at older ages, which means that less positions are opening because less people are retiring. And these are just some of the many reasons why the talent supply is exceeding the demand for professors.
That is incredibly interesting. I'm going to tell you right now the results. The outlook does not look spectacular for our rhetoric scholars. According to Phillips' research from the year 2011 to 2020, there was an average of 390 doctoral graduates per year in the discipline of writing studies. Do you want to know what the average number of job postings was?
I'm scared.
227.
Sweet baby Jesus.
It's kind of alarming because in a similar analysis of job postings from 1994 to 1998, they concluded that the demand for jobs was still exceeding the supply. At the turn of the century, they had more jobs than applicants, but if the more recent data reports that there's an average of 390 applicants going for 227 jobs.
Things have definitely changed in the last 20 years.
Right, and that doesn't even factor in the geographic location, tenure track versus non-tenure. Maybe someone doesn't have the resources to travel across the country for an assistant professorship. Strap in, Taylor, because I'm about to tell you the most recent results.
I'm sad.
According to the data pulled from RetMap from 2022 to 2023, there are only 207 jobs posted, a 12.5 decrease from recent years.
No.
In addition to there just being less jobs available, there's also been a decline in tenure track positions. So for people who are considering like a long-term career in academia, specifically in writing studies, this can be very jarring. So Taylor, what is the technical term for a crisis of employment within an industry?
So I think the term that you're looking for job crisis is a job market contraction. This goes back to the nature of a cyclical market economy where the supply and demand of the job market is always fluctuating. And right now, the supply of prospective writing professors is exceeding academia's demand for new writing professors. So whether or not the job market is contracting or expanding could be measured using metrics like the unemployment rate and then comparing it across time. So if you're interested in the specific numbers for a certain industry, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics actually tracks and reports that kind of thing, the growth and declines of specific occupational categories. So what's your advice for someone who's, say, pursuing a doctorate in writing studies right now?
Academia isn't the only place for scholars of writing. But if that's your aim, study hard. Be a stone cold baller and be prepared to relocate. Academia is super competitive for writing scholars right now, so take every opportunity to shine when the job market comes calling. Talk to your faculty about potential job opportunities, and as always, network, network, network. This is Gabriella Coleman,
And this is Taylor Stamper.
coming to you straight out of composition.